Google just published a groundbreaking research that could have grave implications for society. Surprisingly, it was ignored by the larger AI community. In this study, SoundStorm, a novel AI tool, was demonstrated. SoundStorm uses cutting-edge AI capabilities and a novel architecture to produce hyperrealistic voiceovers. This is noteworthy because it is more accurate than earlier AI voiceovers. We'll give you several convincing cases in this video. Understanding the risk connected to this AI progress, as described in the report, is crucial. It could have a big societal impact if utilized improperly. Let's investigate more, because the demo is more than just a speech demo. Let's now explore the minute details that give a voiceover a human sound. When someone speaks, pay attention to the pauses, intonations, and the other small subtitles. We'll use a different Google example from a few years ago to explain this idea. Google's recent article on SoundStorm has drawn notice in the field of cutting-edge innovations. A fantastic parallel decoder created for effective audio generation, including dialogue creation, is the topic of discussion. Surprisingly, the SoundStorm system was used to create specific dialogue in question. Those concerned are fascinated and intrigued by this discovery. An official demonstration from the research paper was heard in the previous audio clip. There are, however, a lot of other demos to investigate. It is important to recognize the minor inflections to determine whether a voice sounds human or not. Before we get into them, it is important to pay attention to these intricacies, and SoundStorm is excellent at recording them. Let's examine further page elements to see the astounding realism that SoundStorm provides. 3 important topics need to be covered, beginning with dialogue synthesis. With just 3-second input, SoundStorm excels at producing realistic conversations between 2 people. You might be wondering how this differs from earlier techniques. The impressive feature is its capacity to deliver remarkably realistic outcomes, especially in terms of reproducing the deft inflections we previously addressed. These subtle subtitles are replicated in the conversation, which sounds wonderfully authentic. The voice prompt's text can be seen below. Let's now examine the dialogue that was produced. We'll hear the original recording first, then the dialogue produced by AI. Listen to the voice prompt for a moment. The questioner asks, "Where did you go?" inquiring as to your whereabouts through the previous summer. The answer is, "I went to Greece," which is given in response. They express their awe and enthusiasm for the experience by calling it amazing. And then what we're going to listen to is the outcome for the course, the synthesized dialogue. "Where did you go last summer?" draws curiosity and invites deeper investigation. When asked where they went, the person enthusiastically exclaims, "I went to Greece," emphasizing the great pleasure by calling it amazing experience. The conversation partner expresses a long-standing desire to travel to Greece in return for the enthusiasm. Then, in an effort to unearth treasures recollections, they ask about the person's favorite part of the trip. The answer demonstrates how tough it is to single out a favorite aspect, but the respondent emphasizes how much they appreciate the food in general, and the delicious seafood in particular. The person went to Greece last summer and was amazed at how beautiful the beaches were. They made the most out of the chance to swim, unwind, and explore the islands. The conversational companion gushed about how perfect the getaway was. The vacation has left a lasting impression, therefore, there is hope for a return trip. Although some people might not find this impressive, it actually is rather astounding. It is unclear if this has anything to do with Google's earlier AI voice program, which they demonstrated a year ago. Listen to this one more illustration right now. Someone starts the conversation by mentioning a humorous incident from their morning. The other person replies with an eager, "Oh wow, intrigued. What took place?" And then let's listen to the synthesized dialogue. A humorous morning occurrence is related, and the other person is eager to hear more about it. The narrator describes how he or she woke up, ate breakfast, and then realized it was truly the middle of the night after waiting 10 minutes. The other person in the conversation laughs in response to this disclosure. The other individual shows interest as the person shares a lighthearted morning story. The narrator tells how they usually wake up, go downstairs for breakfast, and then begin to eat. However, they amusingly understood that it was actually the middle of the night after 10 minutes. The conversation partner replies, "Oh, no way, that's hilarious." I must admit that I listened to both of those samples, and it's interesting to note how much better the second one sounded. However, if it's an AI-generated voice, I have to admit that this level of realism makes me feel a little uneasy. I am sure I would think those people were human if I were to overhear their talk. I am beginning to feel a little uneasy about it. Unquestionably impressive, but also a little unsettling. This creates a brand new exciting world of opportunities. Similar developments were recently seen from NVIDIA during their conferences. They gave us a glimpse into the future by showcasing a wide range of AI-related developments. Let's go on to the section where they provided the baseline by scrolling down. This enables us to contrast the original audio with the other AI technology that can mimic in an effort to replicate the original audio exactly. Here is the original audio file. One speaker in the conversation talks about the special qualities of a person's heart, which embraces both charity and harshness at once. The idea of an audio is to introduce as a result of this observation. The discussion then switches to a decline, highlighting the fact that the subject still has a heart that is equally charitable and severe. The concept of greed is then discussed, and its appearance in the story is examined. In the end, the discussion emphasizes the concept of descending with heart that balances severity and charity equally. Next one, there are the SoundStorms. He must descend with a heart that is both full with severity and kindness in order to move forward. The distinction between prompted and unprompted generation is another fantastic topic. I'd like to illustrate this idea with an intriguing example. We have the original audio on the left, then the prompted and the unprompted versions. To compare the voices produced by AI, the original audio is taken from a large collection of recordings made by a variety of people. The Liberty Speech Test clean dataset served as a source of the original samples. Let's hear the original audio now, then the AI voice impersonating your voice. You'll hear that the unprompted voices impersonate various people, whereas the original and prompted versions sound strikingly similar. The original audio should be played first. Mr. Meadowcroft, the older, took it upon himself to introduce the newcomer to me, without saying a word up to that point. His look had an air of anger as he cast a sidelong glance at his son. And then let's listen to the unprompted. Consequently, this will sound like someone else. The senior Mr. Meadowcroft, who had been quiet up to this point, decided to speak up and introduce the newcomer to me. He did so while giving his boy a sidelong glance that suggested a subtle defiance, as if there were a shifting of glance that had some insignificance. We'll now listen to the voice that was prompted, which is effectively an AI voice that mimics the original video. After a brief period of stillness, Mr. Meadow, the senior, decided to personally introduce the newcomer to me. He himself moved forward without saying a word, while giving his son a sidelong glance. The glance had a strong undertone of defiance, which added a fascinating dimension to the exchange. Using just 3 seconds of speech data, the prompted and unprompted generation can produce high-quality voiceovers, which is what makes it so intriguing. It is important to note that the example given don't include comparisons to the other programs like 11 Labs. The original sample will be downloaded, so I can compare it to 11 Labs. I have personally used 11 Labs to clone voices like Joe Rogan and Donald Trump, and the results are really impressive. Benchmarks using well-known figures would have been ideal for assessing similarities and differences. The selected group of views, however, reflects industry norms. The voice AI technology from 11 Labs enables voice copying. It is a simple procedure. You may easily duplicate voices like Joe Rogan's and others by selecting Add Voice and uploading a file. The procedure is unaffected by the name you selected. One standard sample will do in place of uploading many samples. You can produce outcomes like these in only a few seconds. Differentiating between authentic and false information will get harder with advancements in technology, like 11 Labs and the upcoming SoundStorm, which raises questions regarding identity verification in the future. Although there is a chance that a strong instrument will be mishandled, the dangers posed by AI-generated voice are noticeably greater. Although it's asserted that SoundStorm is unlikely to create new risks, as the product develops, only time will tell. Exploring the potential effects of WorldCoin and its attempt to restore digital ID with eye scanning technology is interesting. The idea of digital passport that enables people to demonstrate their individuality while remaining anonymous raises concerns about privacy and the degree of control over personal data. The topic is further complicated by the inclusion of tools like SoundStorm and 11 Labs, which permit expert voice copying. The difficulties of determining authenticity and differentiating between actual and fraudulent material in the future are raised by growing developments in AI. I appreciate you viewing. Please remember to like, subscribe, and click the bell button if you found this video interesting, in order to receive updates on our newest material. In the space below, please leave your ideas and feedback about the future of AI and its effects. We value your assistance.